Things are getting spicy, alright. Hello everyone, welcome once again to the month of Independence. Today on the agenda is The First Tree. A very tranquil little game about a fox, as well as a person. And apparently you switch between the two. Isn't that delightful? The majestic fox. Seems to be popular in Japanese lore. You know, like kitsunes. I think that's how you pronounce them. I think you're actually supposed to pronounce the E. Don't know though. Just enjoy the music. I see I can move the camera. And now I can move.
Are you awake? I thought I heard you get up.
Yeah.
I'm awake. Sorry, I just can't sleep.
Are you
This is
thinking
nice.
about him?
Oh, I
Yeah,
see. You
a
can
bit.
walk.
You should get back to sleep, my love. I'm fine.
No, it's okay. What else is on your mind?
I don't know. It seems weird, but I had one of the most vivid dreams of my life. I saw a fox on a snowy mountain, just looking confused and worried. Those eyes. I can't get those eyes out of my head. She was running in the windy snow, looking for something.
Do you think it has to do with you and what's been going on?
I don't know. It was just a dream, Rachel. They're not meant to make sense. A lot's happened the past couple days, that's all.
Well, if you're not going to sleep anyway, you should tell me. I want to hear.
All right.
Let's get this story underway then. It seems there's only so far up the mountain you can go. And your attention is supposed to be driven here. Oh no. Is that a fellow fox?
So, not far from her home, she followed that path to something unexpected.
Poor thing. Rest in peace, little one. You were taken before our time.
She couldn't stay, though. She had to find her other two children. So she took that path. She followed it towards something ancient.
Already we're
Something
getting
with answers.
sad. Sorry, I never know when they're going to start narrating. The First Tree. This is shaping up to be a very nice story-driven game, though. It's one of the literally ever.
Fox looked high and low, searching for any sign of her cubs. Points of light showed the way to this ancient tree. It was as if each one had a story to tell, all their own. The land was trying to tell my story, too.
Yeah,
I felt like I was right behind her the whole time.
literally over 100 games that I have on the Epic Store that I didn't pay for because of the random freebies. This is one of them. I had to stand still to make sure the dialogue wouldn't start. Not to say the dialogue isn't great, it's just that you can never tell when it's going to start. So, you know. Also, I just now realized that you can double jump, which is kind of cool. I'm so powerful that I can jump in the air. And somehow use that to gain momentum, even though there's literally nothing below me. I wonder if that would even theoretically be possible. Like, say, if you somehow push down with enough force, although that is how helicopters and shuttles work. Not so much airplanes, because they're moving forward. If you went straight up or down, an airplane would stall out because it's using the wind to guide it, not necessarily using air resistance. Helicopters and shuttles, on the other hand, are kind of pushing downward in order to be lifted upward in equal amounts. So yeah, can you imagine someone stomping down with such force that it's basically the equivalent of a helicopter? Or at least the helicopter propulsion for one person. So maybe theoretically possible it would be possible to double jump in real life if you had that much force. But if you had that much force, why stop at a double jump? Or not a triple or a quadruple jump? Maybe you'd tire out after the first one, but then hitting the ground wouldn't help. I don't know, maybe I'm overthinking a jumping mechanic. Me overthinking things? And even funnier is that Metroid Dread has a double jump before it gives you an infinite jump. Which I'm pretty sure is just a reference to Metroid Prime. Not to say there's anything wrong with that. Not in the slightest. It's interesting the way the snow is portrayed, though. Very shiny. Almost looks like just water, but still. I can't say ice because ice looks different than water. Oh, look at that.
Do you remember what my dad did for a living?
Wasn't he like a lumberjack?
That's one way of putting it. If wood was a canvas, then a carving knife was his paintbrush. Even after working a 50-hour week, even after his hands were more splinters than skin, he would bring home the nicest piece of Alaskan weeping cedar and make me toys. That wooden train was the first toy I can remember, and I loved it. I just knew from a young age I was going to be a lumberjack, like my father.
You know what? This is why video games are great. They have the potential to be so many different things. I just finished playing Aegis Descent, which is basically more of a high-octane shooter, and now I'm playing essentially a pure exploration game that isn't really hard at all. It's basically just exploring, but it has a nice story to tell. I can appreciate games like this. I think that is where games are the strongest, when there's, you know, versatility, diversity. When there can be games like this and also games like Aegis Descent. I'm just not a fan of people who think that the harder games need to be made easier. Because there are games like this that are easier if you really want a game that's easier. And if there's a game like Soulsborne, or games that aren't Soulsborne that people don't like talking about because everything that's difficult is Dark Souls now, then you have that too. Not every game has to conform to everyone's standards, or everyone's preferred method of play, or even their difficulty expectations. That would be like having a game like this and saying, nope, we need a hard mode. We need some way to make the player capable of dying, because otherwise this ain't my kind of game. This ain't made for me. I don't think it's excluding anybody. It's basically just, hey, there are games that are hard and there are games that are easy. There's something for everybody here. Individual games may not be for everyone, but video games as a genre are for everybody. Because there are games like this, and I can appreciate that. I just don't like it when people say that hard games need to be made easy. Games that are more centered around being hard for a reason. You know?
The older I got, the more I withdrew. I asked myself, why talk to anybody anyway? Why bother when I'm happy by myself? I started drawing a lot, mostly animals I saw in the woods by my home. I then imagined designing my own hideouts with things like TVs and pantries full of chips and cookies. I think that idea of leaving home and drawing blueprints started my career. I found a lot of solace in that.
I'm not surprised, but I did the same thing, you know? There's something special about having a place to call your own.
And now look at us. Well, if you count renting in an overpriced city.
It's as close as we can get for now.
That's nice. Depending on how much content there is left in this game, I think I want to play more of it. You know, eventually. Obviously, I'm doing one-offs right now, but this is definitely one to come back to if there's enough content there. I guess it depends on how long the game is. You never know how long a game is going to be. For instance, What Remains of Edith Finch was a fair, lengthy game. That's the kind of game I enjoy for moments like this. I mean, it's not completely brain dead. You still had to solve things, figure things out to some extent. Even if it wasn't really difficult. But it was the narrative that kept it going. And that's the beautiful part about it. Like I said, video games can be whatever you want. They have the potential to be so many different things. A video game is literally just something that you play. Well, you know, it's an electronic type of experience that you play. That's basically a video game when you get down to it. It doesn't have to conform to anything specifically. It doesn't even require you to have any challenge. Pretty much just something that you play electronically. I'm probably just repeating myself at this point, but I do think that that is why video games are great. There's so much potential there to be so many different things. And I think when someone demands that all video games conform to them, they're missing the point. Games like this wouldn't be special if every video game was like this. And games like Soulsborne or first-person shooters or anything else wouldn't be special if everything was like them. They all have their own little role to play. And they go after different things. Me, though, I can appreciate most games. Maybe not professional sports games. And by that, I mean games like Madden or, you know, NFL games like that are basically meant to simulate real life. I'm not as much of a fan of that because, I mean, if I want to do sports, I can either watch it or play it in real life. I just don't think it doesn't appeal to me, but I would never ask them to change for me.
As a kid, did you ever do show and tell in your class?
Yeah, I think I only did it once, when I was in the 4th grade. You know how my life was around then. I wanted to show my class what helped pass the time and distracted me, so I brought a dozen paper cranes I had made. I think I told everyone how badly I wanted to be a bird and fly, embarrassingly enough.
Don't be embarrassed. Every kid wants to fly. For me, it was another toy from my dad, a wooden boat. I remember guarding it so carefully in my hands as I walked into class. When I sat down, a group of boys immediately made fun of it. They asked which trash can I found it in, or why an ugly log was my favorite toy. When I got up, I didn't even want to tell them my dad had carved it.
Wow.
I said it was a joke gift my friend had given me.
Kids can be so cool.
Yeah, they are.
So I shouldn't have let them get to me, but it did. It's amazing we bounced back at all.
Yeah, I get you. I am very much enjoying this. I just want to hear more of it. I want to hear more of this guy's story. It's actually captivating me. And I didn't even notice that was a wooden boat. For some reason, it looked like a small panel with buttons on it. But now that he said it was a boat, I can see it. The smokestacks. Sorry, not necessarily steam. Smokestacks on it. That's what I thought was buttons, funnily enough. Amazing how you can think something looks completely different than what it is until you're given proper context. It's nice, though. I wouldn't call it garbage. Not at all. Oh, look, I must be on the right track. This ancient tree, or wherever. Oh, look at that. Everything is blacking out. Must be a new area, which it is. Oh, look at that! Now we're in a nice grassy plain. We've got environmental variety. I like that. You can tell this game was not made lazily, that's for sure. They cared. It may be relatively low tech, but that's the indie game charm.
My teenage years were full of sketching, angst, and trouble. I wasn't popular or unpopular. Maybe just forgettable. I guess that gave me a sense of freedom, so I hung out with crazy kids, doing crazy things, even though I mostly just watched the chaos ensue. We did it all. Put fireworks in mailboxes, hide roadkill in people's garages, break windows of the barber shop in Anchorage. My dad was furious, but he was so busy working he couldn't do much to stop me from going out.
I think being an adult means there's no one to stop you making hard decisions. He had to make a living, and he couldn't be in two places at once.
Yeah, I realize that now. But at the time, I was sure he was more interested in growing his business than what was going on with me.
Ouch. That's not a good place to be in where you think like that. That can't be doing good things for you. What's this? A billboard? Look at that. That's interesting. Is that the guy who was talking? Otter Lake. Search area. Police station. Was that the job you were talking about? Ooh, what's this? Butterflies. Whoa! My jump has been enhanced. Or at least it was. It's temporarily enhanced. That's the point, just to get that one. You aren't really supposed to use that to your everlasting advantage. Police car. It's interesting what you can find in here. That's a well-modeled police car, isn't it? Got pretty much all the basics in there. Including, obviously, the metal grating separating the prisoner from the cop. Or I guess the suspect. Not in a prison yet, unless they're being transferred, but why would they be transferred in a police car? You know what I mean. The perp? Whatever you want to call it. Let's just go to the next thing. Hey.
He was working another late night, and my friends were over, saying how bored they were and how they had come all the way out to my house for nothing. One of them mentioned how that old, ugly beyond belief truck was still in the garage, and how we should take it for a spin. I was only 15, so I kind of fought it for a while. The next thing I knew, we were careening around the mountain path, rocks spitting onto the sides of the cliff, while my dad's cringeworthy bluegrass blared out the speakers. I drove while my friends were in the back of that yellow and purple truck, throwing beer bottles and trash at anything remotely interesting. Felt like I was soaring in the air with borrowed wings. But all good things have endings. A cop outside of Eagle River pulled us over after he saw us send a bottle rocket into someone's yard. What followed was a long night of talking to disappointed adults and feeling smaller than ever.
Borrowed wings, huh? Must be related to this. This is what they symbolize, isn't it? Huh, what do you know? I had just enough time to get that initial jump. Or maybe it only does the first jump. Maybe that's the point. Not to be time limited, but you only get one. They get used up, essentially. It's a nice story. That's, certainly interesting, the things they were up to, though. Oh, look at that, butterflies. Isn't that just purty? All this game is purty. Let's go sailing. Through the air. More butterflies, huh? Oh, there's the truck. My hunch is correct. They'll assist you with the first jump, no matter how far away it is. But after that, you're on your own. As expected. Everybody gets one. Let's see if I can get up to that pickup truck with these. It's possible. But is it likely? Or even realistic? Nope, no, not really. In the end, I overestimated myself. Or maybe I overestimated how long these butterflies would last. Who knows?
After he drove me home from the police station, I blew up at him, saying how I never wanted to be like him, how I was gonna be someone and leave that hick icebox for good. He just looked forward at the road with tired eyes. I took out that bluegrass tape from the cassette deck and chucked it out the window. In my sage teenage wisdom, I thought I had proved the ultimate point. But my dad had a different idea. He slammed the brakes, slowly bowed his head while gripping the steering wheel, and finally looked at me. All he said, like it was a polite request, was, "Make this right." I sat there in silence, fuming, but I eventually got out and combed every square inch of the woods, muttering profanity after profanity. I found it 30 minutes later, near a small waterfall off the road. I went back to the truck, put the wet tape back in, and sure enough it worked. We didn't speak another word to each other the rest of the night.
Ah, crap.
Wow, I knew you were a crazy teenager, but
It's hard to believe, isn't it? It surprises me too. It's like I didn't really know who that kid was back then. I bet my dad thought the same thing over and over. It's almost like he was saying, "Make this right," to himself, more than to me.
Sounds like he was very patient, all things considered. A nice dad in media? That's impossible. We have to portray all dads as jackasses. You know, either as idiots or just malicious. That's what we have to portray all dads as in media. We can't have nice dads. That's impossible. Obviously, it's a joke. Oh, crap. Damn it. Okay, cool. I got them. How do I... What am I supposed to use it for? Something else that I'm not familiar with? I didn't see anything on the waterfall itself, which must mean that whatever I'm looking for isn't necessarily there. Maybe it's over there. I see light over there. Strange, though. Why would there be butterflies over there? What purpose does it serve? I thought it would be at the jump from there. But clearly that's not the case. Or at least I did it wrong. Who knows? All I know is there's light over here, which means... Oh, you need 3 of them. That makes sense, I guess. I gotta get all 3 of them. Okay. Fair enough. My bad, I misinterpreted everything. If you get more of them, you can jump even farther. Does that mean I can actually go up to that pickup truck if I wanted to? I don't have a lot of time, so I'm not going to experiment with it. Maybe if I do more videos on this, I would experiment. You know, at a later time. Just not right now. Nice waterfall, though. Very pretty. Isn't it? Oh, wait, there's just one problem. Okay. There's no problem. As long as I'm careful. Now I just need to grab that one, and then go all the way over there, and then we're in business, aren't we? The butterflies are getting stronger. More light that I didn't even see. Because I'm blind. She blinded me with science. Okay, here we go. Darn, I gotta get up that rock without jumping. If I jump, I lose these butterflies. I don't want that. How do I get that without jumping? Oh, probably like this. Duh. That's why this is here. Or at least that's one reason why it's here. No, I didn't have to jump at all, and I get 3 times the butterfly action. It's cute.
My friends would laugh about that night and talk about how crazy it was. and I laughed along, pretending it didn't bother me. But it did. I imagined my friends growing old in the bush, unable to find that thrill in those godforsaken ice fields. It's like those mountains were a literal wall, keeping me from leaving. All I would have to look forward to are lumber yards and evening beers. I had to climb over. That was my only goal for a long time.
Well, I just surpassed a mountain of sorts. I'm sure that's symbolic, isn't it?
If there was some way I could take my love of drawing and turn it into a way of escape, nothing would make me happier. I wanted to create instead of tearing trees down. I wanted to move to the lower 48, not because I hated it there in Alaska, but I hated the idea of it. It's like all of that spite inside me had created this monster which followed me around my whole teenage years. I put so much energy into doing what others didn't expect of me. Why did I do that?
There's one fact you're forgetting, though. If you didn't have that fire in you, we probably would have never met.
You're absolutely right. Maybe the destination is all that matters in the end. But then why am I awake? Why am I seeing this fox go on her journey? And why can't I stop thinking about my dad?
It seems that for all the good that happened, it was quite turbulent too. Quite turbulent indeed. I see there's more light over here. Sadly, there's not much time left, so I better make it count. You know, while I still can. And that was a nice touch with the butterflies adding a very light, thoughtful element to it. I'm not even going to call it a puzzle because, let's be real, it's not really a puzzle, but it's thoughtful. It's something that requires you to think. Which is nice. What the? A skateboard. But the wheels are gone. Interesting. I'm guessing this will recount more of his story. Probably doing with a skateboard. Who knows? All I know is that there's more light, and where there's more light, I must be headed towards. Nice double jump in there. And let's just grab these specks of light and move on. 50 stars completed. That's an achievement I just got. You guys can't see it because OBS thankfully culls out things like that just to avoid any complications with Steam or anything else. But it popped up. What's this? That's interesting. What's this? Oh, 0 out of 3. What does that even mean? Huh? What do you have to do? You have to bat it? What do you have to do there? Oh, I see. You had to touch it as it's retreating, I guess? I don't know what was going on there, but the important thing is I got it. Nice little forest area, too. It's not like the previous area. The foliage is definitely very different. And that's what I'm enjoying about this game so far. It's got a nice little variety to it. You know what they say, variety is the spice of life. And things are getting spicy, alright. Did that sound wrong? Well, I don't want to be right. Let's listen in.
On our property, there were old abandoned pieces of a shed and car long left unused. I used to ask him all the time who those people were that left all this junk. And I'm sure he got so tired of hearing it that he made up some elaborate stories how a brown bear ate them and haunted the woods afterwards. What's funny is I think it made those people seem more real. Growing up thinking they were still hanging out like they couldn't say goodbye. I used to tell my friends how I could swear I saw spirits move near the water, and that always freaked them out. I guess it didn't bother me, because the way I saw it, they were normal people with old cars and sheds, just trying to figure out how to survive and be happy in the middle of nowhere. It was a cool thought that they didn't want to leave, but you know, I was a weird kid.
Well, you had good company since those ghosts like living in a place where they were brutally devoured.
Wow. Anyway, I'm just gonna have to say that is it for now. Thank you so much for tuning in with me. Make sure to spread this video around like my failure to grab the light. Like light specs that I cannot get because I suck at jumping mechanics. And I guess I will see y'all next time. Now go out there and capitalize on life. What the frick? Why didn't the second jump get off? Peace out, have a good one, and have a nice and pleasant day. I guess timing is everything. See you later.
If you enjoyed the content and want to stay up to date, I upload 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every single day. You can also subscribe and hit the bell icon, or just check out the end screens right here.